Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle, and welcome to another one of our discussion series videos for the Eurovision Song Contest. Today is a controversial topic. We're talking about non-qualification, but not just non-qualifications. Shocking non-qualifications. Who do you think has the potential to not qualify for the Eurovision Grand Final in a shocking fashion? Let's talk about it. Hey, what, Eurovision 2022, I got a new video, Alesia Michelle, I'm ready to go. Are you ready? Eurovision fam, yeah. Are you ready for the show? Okay, so as always, this isn't necessarily a list that I just created myself independently. I did ask the question on Twitter and I got tons of responses. Of course, people were all over the place because it's like, okay, well, what's like a shocking non-qualifier? You know what I mean? So I think that there were sometimes people were just shouting out countries that they were like, okay, I think that this won't qualify. But it's like, no, in a shocking fashion, because obviously it's the Eurovision Song Contest. So we know not all the songs get to advance and go on to the grand final. But sometimes it's pretty obvious because it's like, okay, like no one was really streaming the song. People didn't seem to really be feeling it. And then we end up seeing the live performance and it's like, okay, the vocals are shaky or the staging isn't that good. So really we want to focus on songs that I think people really think could win. That's always sort of the way that I think about this. But I do also think some of y'all are like low-key a little bit messy. So I see y'all. I see the mess. But let's like start off with kind of like the WTF ones because I did, and these didn't have a whole bunch of votes, but I think each of them had like 3 each. So some people said Sweden, not happening. But if it didn't qualify, it would be shocking. Albania, which I actually was here sort of for the conversation of like, I'm nervous for Albania, but I normally get nervous for countries just in general, like with songs I really, really like. But Albania is kicking off the show, so like, nah, I've always felt like Albania was a surefire qualifier this year, but I always have those moments where I'm like, oh, but what if it doesn't qualify? Like, what if it doesn't happen? I get a little bit nervous. And then some people said Lithuania, but not a ton. And then we had Portugal. Actually, Portugal had like, 4, I think, votes. And remember, 1 vote is just to get your name down on the list, and then I do tick marks from there. I heard some people mention Romania, some people mentioned Estonia, some people mentioned the Netherlands, and that was it. So it's interesting because I sort of did this, and after I counted up all the tick marks, it hit me that I'm like, well, the question is like, what won't qualify like as a shock? Like in a way that will be shocking or feel shocking to people. And I think what I am now sort of thinking is, well, no, it'll be shocking if Portugal, Lithuania, Albania, Sweden, Romania, Estonia, Netherlands, all of these countries that didn't have a ton of votes for it. I'm like, now my mindset is sort of like, oh, well, maybe these are the ones I should be looking at and worried for, because maybe these are actually our shock non-qualifiers as opposed to the songs that had a whole bunch of votes. Are you with me? Are you really confused? We're doing the countdown. I asked Twitter, so let's go through it. All of these countries had 5 votes, but we had Latvia, Belgium, and Serbia. So I'll talk about those. I think that Serbia is qualifying. I really actually do. I think that Serbia was probably going to qualify even if they didn't have that great of a song this year. And I shouldn't even say if they didn't have that great of a song, but I think that they could have played it safer, perhaps, and still been able to make it through. But I think the fact that they're taking a risk, I think the fact that like this song is just blowing up on the internet, I think that we are going to see it in the final. So I'm not so worried about that. Belgium. I'm worried about Belgium, but I think I'm more so worried about Belgium just because they don't have a consistent track record with the staging. So to me, to be honest, like Belgium not qualifying wouldn't really be shocking to me personally. And then Latvia, kind of the same thing. If Latvia doesn't qualify, just given their qualification track record, I think given the fact that the song's a little bit divisive, but I also think too, part of the panache of Latvia's entry is sort of the foul language, and they can't say anything like that on stage. So I think a little bit of their gimmick, even though yes, it's a song about being green and being healthy, and like that's part of the gimmick, but I think the package of selling that gimmick was kind of, we're singing this really hearty, healthy, positive song, but then we kind of are being crass about it. So they won't get to do that. So if Latvia didn't qualify, I wouldn't really be that surprised about it. But that's what y'all said. And then next up, we have Norway, which, if Norway doesn't qualify, I definitely think that would be shocking. I am most certainly expecting to see Norway in the final. I can't get my mind around it not being in the final. I just can't. Next up, we have Australia. I don't know. Y'all have all been so lukewarm on the song that if it didn't qualify, I don't know if it would feel that shocking to me. But I will say, I think with the vocal performance that Sheldon is going to do on the stage, I think with the staging that they're going to do, I think now with that running order, I think they're in a really good slot. I think at this point, I probably would be shocked not to see Australia qualify. I think that we are going to see Australia in the final. And I think that the juries in semifinal 2 actually are juries that really, really do honor vocal performances. I also think that folks in the Balkans, when those televoters, I think they like to hear a really strong vocal. So yeah, if Australia doesn't qualify, I think I'll be shocked about that. Next up, and this tied with Australia, Greece. Greece, honestly, off the strength that song is just quality, start to finish, quality. And I know that yes, like staging matters, staging is important, but like we could maybe end up with a Blanche moment because City Lights was just such a good song and the staging package they did was not good. It just wasn't good. So in my mind, I'm almost telling myself that I'm like, well, I don't think it'll be as bad as what Belgium did with City Lights. So I'm feeling like Greece is probably going to advance. And I'm even thinking that even if the staging is kind of weak, it's still going to advance. So yeah, if Greece doesn't qualify this year, I will be shocked. All right, next up, we've got another 3-way tie. And it's Czech Republic, San Marino, and Cyprus. Of this bunch, I was most surprised to see Cyprus here. And it did get me a little bit nervous. It did get me just a little bit. I had like a little like tinge where I was like, uh-oh, no. I really like this song. So, I mean, ultimately, I would say if Cyprus doesn't qualify, I definitely think that would be shocking. Because Cyprus of this mix, I just think what they're doing is really beautiful. Their track record with staging is just so good. Yeah, I would be shocked. But let's talk about the other two, San Marino and Czech Republic. One, San Marino, just given their track record, them not qualifying ever would not be shocking to me. And I kind of think the same thing goes for Czech Republic a little bit. And I think with Czech Republic, it's going to come down to the execution. Now, we know that they are closing out semifinal 2, which is a great slot to be in. But it is also a slot that does not guarantee you qualification. And I think that really what Czech Republic is going to have to do, the vocal has to be flawless in this song. It's not a vocally challenging song. It's not. And although the song is one of my favorites this year, I could see it maybe ultimately, unfortunately, falling flat. So to be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if Czech Republic or San Marino didn't qualify. But they're two countries that I really want to see in the final. So maybe I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't qualify, but I would definitely be sad. And with San Marino, I just think this song has so much energy and it's just rousing. And if it doesn't make it to the grand final, I could let it go But honestly, I really feel like, and this will be fully the delusion that I adopt this Eurovision season, and the delusion that I am choosing to adopt is that I truly don't see a path for it not to qualify. Like, I just can't, like, I have tried to work its way out, but when I think of the juries and even some of the big five that get to vote in this semi, I just see it qualifying. So it's okay. I am in the deep delusion. Y'all can pull me out of it in the comments. Next up, and there is no tie, it's Finland. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'll start off and just say, for me, Finland not qualifying ever is never a shock given their track record. Also, with the national selection of Jezebel performance, our lead vocalist vocal was not that great, and that will have to improve. That will have to improve. He will have to sing this song better. Finland is opening up semi-final 2, which is really exciting. And I think it's cool to have them in that slot because it is the Rasmus. They are very well known. I knew who the Rasmus were. So I think being that they are opening the show and they are such a well-known group, I think for some people that would feel shocking to not see them qualify, but for me, not so much. But according to y'all, it would be a shocking non-qualifier. That could happen. All right, we're down to our final 2, and I just have to say, we are now seeing a huge gap. So everyone on Twitter was pretty much in agreement that these 2 countries were the most at risk of non-qualification in a shocking manner. And again, there was a real gap in the voting. Like, literally, there are like 10 points separating Finland from our next country, and that's Poland. I think that now that we have so many male ballads, people are fearful for Poland. I think that where Poland is in the running order isn't too bad for them. I actually think that Poland is in a nice spot where Poland can stand out, whereas Azerbaijan and Australia are in the first half. I think Poland is in a slot where they can really cement themselves and sort of say, we are singing this male power ballad with this nice kind of modern edge. But I will say, if Poland does not have their staging together, I think I would agree that I would be shocked. At this point, I would be shocked to see Poland not qualify. But if they don't qualify, it's because of the staging. And next up, our final country, it's Austria. Austria definitely took it away. I think what it is people really love this song. This is one of the most current songs that we have. There is a freshness and an energy with this performance, but I think what people are worried about is, I don't even know so much the staging. Well, I think the staging is a concern, but I think more importantly than the staging, I think is the vocal in this. I think Pia is gonna need to get on that stage. She's gonna need to command it. She's gonna need to sell it. And she's gonna need to move around and sing and do it all at the same time, which isn't an easy thing to do. And I think rightfully so, people are worried. And because the song is so quality, it's like, okay, it might not make it through. I'll be honest, I don't think I would be shocked to see Austria not qualify, given just all of the unknowns and question marks we have about it. But that's it. These are the countries that you said would be most likely to not qualify in shocking fashion. What do you think? Talk to me in the comments below. Do you agree with the countries that Twitter pointed out? Talk to me in the comments below. Do you disagree? That's okay too. Talk to me in the comments below. This is a conversation, and you know what? I am so excited for Eurovision 2022. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. I have so much more content coming for you. Thanks. Bye.